Good morning. Welcome to all of you. My name is Patrick Kelly. I'm Vice Dean of the Widener University School of Law's Delaware campus. I want to extend a warm welcome today to Governor Jack Markell, his staff, Senator Brian Bushweller, and Larry Mitchell, among others, for being here today. I think it's appropriate that we all gather here in this particular space. It's the public service wing of the law school. This is the place where law students and faculty work every day, spend countless hours devoted to pro bono work. This is pro bono work for the public who will receive services they might not receive if it were not for the various clinics that we have here. Governor Markell has long been a friend of the law school. We are deeply honored to have you here on our campus today. It is a pleasure to have you here, even in these very serious and troubling times. Please welcome Governor Jack Markell.
Thank you. Like most parents, I was and I remain horrified by the allegations of consistent sexual abuse of children in Sussex County and by their pediatrician. These crimes can never be forgiven, and they'll never be forgotten. And it is our obligation to ensure that they will not be repeated. It is clear that the system failed, and given the number of conflicting reports that have emerged around this case, it's clear that we would benefit from an independent review to learn exactly how and why. But we cannot simply look behind us, we must look ahead to create a framework to protect our children in the future. I believe, and everybody up here agrees, that an independent statewide review is critical to achieve that goal. To head this review, we need an independent leader with experience who commands respect, who knows the right questions to ask, and who knows government and the law. That's why I have asked Widener University School of Law Associate Provost and Dean Linda Ammons to conduct an independent review into the state's statutory and administrative procedures governing child abuse and exploitation. Dean Ammons is the 7th Dean of Widener Law School, the first woman, the first African American to lead the state's only law school. She's an accomplished lawyer, a professor, and administrator. She came to Widener in July of 2006 from Cleveland Marshall College of Law in Cleveland, Ohio, where she was the Associate Dean and Professor of Law. Her primary area of expertise is administrative law, which involves the operation of government and regulatory agencies. Dean Ammons has a wealth of administrative and state agency experience. She served as executive assistant to former Ohio Governor Richard Celeste from 1988 to 1991, a job in which she oversaw criminal justice policy for the governor and served as his point person on state prison issues. She served on the Ohio Supreme Court Futures Commission, which worked to improve the court system. And she's co-chaired for 2 years the American Bar Association National Institute on Defending Battered Women in Criminal Cases. She has an exceptional resume, and she is an exceptional leader. Dean, on behalf of all Delawareans, and I know on behalf of Senator Bushweller and Representative Mitchell, who are the chairs of their respective public safety committees in the Senate and the House, on behalf of all Delawareans, I thank you for accepting this challenge. While what she uncovers during her review will ultimately determine where it leads, I've asked her to examine at least 6 specific areas. 1, professional reporting requirements for suspected incidents of misconduct and the enforcement thereof. 2, professional licensing requirements, procedures, and enforcement, including comprehensive background checks and procedures for ongoing review. 3, medical standards and protocols around proper pediatric care and the publication thereof to ensure that doctors, medical staff, and parents have clear guidance. 4 is the sufficiency of outreach efforts regarding reporting requirements so that those with legal obligations to report questionable behavior do so. 5, proper communication and coordination between law enforcement agencies, professional regulators, and the medical community. And 6, ensuring that adequate services are provided for the protection and treatment of children suspected of being sexually abused and exploited in order to protect them from further harm. When I first mentioned that we were going to launch this review, some asked how it was going to work with the effort underway by our Attorney General, Bo Biden. And let me be clear on that. While the Attorney General will prosecute the laws that were broken, this independent review will help decide whether we have the right laws, processes, and procedures in place for the handling of future child abuse and sexual exploitation cases. Dean Ammons' review must not, and it will not, jeopardize the current prosecution in the Lewis pediatrician case, or the Attorney General's ongoing investigation of whether anyone violated the current reporting requirements under the existing statutory scheme. I expect she will consult with the Attorney General, recognized experts in criminal justice, sexual assault, and child protection to assist her in her review, as well as look at best practices in formulating her recommendations. Let me close with this. The crimes committed against these children in Sussex County are unforgivable. We must ensure that they and their families get the help they need to start down the long path to healing. While we do, Dean Ammons will be working to present recommendations that we hope will foster a child protection community of collaboration and accountability. We're looking forward to her report and to making the necessary changes to better protect our children from predators. This situation demands tough questions and real answers, and together we intend to get them. With that, I would like to ask Dean Ammons to take the podium, make a few comments, and then after that I'd like to ask Senator Bushweller and Representative Mitchell to do the same.
Governor Markell, Senator Bushweller, Representative Mitchell, members of the press, ladies and gentlemen. I am deeply humbled by this particular task, and I wish I were being called to do something that was not filled with the horrific facts as I'm beginning to understand them. It's interesting in terms of timing that I've been asked to do this task. As I just said to the governor, and I hope he doesn't mind me sharing this, I've been out of the country and out of the state for a number of days. In fact, I just got back to the office on Monday. And last Thursday or Friday, when I received the call, I was actually in New Orleans about to come to the podium to address the American Association of Law Schools annual meeting about the importance of pro bono work by law schools and law professors. While my phone was ringing at that moment with a call from our governor, I had no idea that I would be thrust in the middle of this situation, but nevertheless, after long consideration, I feel that it is important that I step up and do what I've preached about so often, and that is to lead the way in terms of providing help to the state of Delaware. In fact, it is a part of, it goes to the heart of our mission statement here at Widener Law, civic engagement and public service. This full wing, the last time we were here in these numbers, in this wing, it was actually to dedicate this wing to public service to not only the citizens of Delaware, but to those in Pennsylvania as well. And so I take on this task, understanding the horrific nature of it, and I have been assured that I will have the full support of state government as we attempt to find ways to make sure that this does not happen again. And so I will be calling upon a variety of experts. The first thing that I must do, in case you're wondering, is to, as many of you as journalists and first-year law students know, you have to master the facts. And so after some time today in answering questions, I will be working very hard to put together the facts in terms of what's happened. I've been assured from all of the relevant branches of government that I will have all the support that I need, and we will move forward, looking forward, to make sure that this kind of situation cannot be repeated. Thank you.
Senator Brian Bushweller.
Thank you, Governor. In the context of this these monstrous allegations coming from Lewis, Delaware, it is important that all Delawareans know that the leaders of our state are taking this entire matter very seriously and are fully engaged on trying to figure out where the system failed and come up with recommendations to fix those flaws to ensure that this kind of monstrous activity never happens in Delaware. And I think that the leadership that the governor is providing is outstanding on this matter, and I am particularly pleased that Dean Ammons has agreed to head up this investigation. She is, I've read her resume closely and had a detailed conversation with her prior to our press conference today. I think she is about as close to perfect a person to lead up this investigation as I can find. So thank you to Dean Ammons and thank you, Governor.
Representative Mitchell.
Thank you, Governor. I personally would like to thank Dean Ammons for stepping up. Often we call on our professional community to step up and assist state government. In this case, Dean Ammons has, and a very important task. I look forward to her final report where recommendations can be made to better assist and help our families in the future, our prosecutors and law enforcement officers. So again, I thank you, Dean Ammons, and look forward to that report.
We can take a few questions.
Does this process have a time frame?
We expect to get recommendations to the General Assembly in such a time that they can act upon them. Anybody else?
Will she have subpoena powers?
She will not have subpoena powers, but she will have the full cooperation of our state agencies. And as for folks in the medical community and others, like in local law enforcement, we expect they will cooperate fully. And if they do not, we will cross that bridge when we come to it.
How can you assure that they're going to cooperate?
We believe that with the intense public glare, that we will get the necessary cooperation, and should we not, again, we will cross that bridge when we get to it.
Are you modeling this after any other state?
Is that a question for me?
Do you have any thoughts on that?
Well, one of the things that I will be looking at will be best practices. And it's a little premature right now to speculate where that might come from. But certainly, I will be looking to other jurisdictions to see if indeed there are practices that ought to be imported into Delaware for the sake and safety of our children.